This shocking truth behind budget fishing boats will leave you stunned. What if I told you that the bargain bass boat that you've been eyeing could become your worst nightmare on the water? Every year, thousands of anglers discover the hard way that cheap doesn't always mean smart. But here's the twist most people never see coming. Those shiny, budget-friendly fishing boats hiding in dealership lots often come with deadly secrets that manufacturers don't want you to know. The reality behind these affordable options will challenge everything you think you know about boat bargains. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal could literally save your life and your wallet. Walk into any boat dealership today and you'll be bombarded with incredible deals on budget fishing boats. The salesman will tell you about amazing financing options, low monthly payments, and how you can get it on the water for less than the cost of a used car. It sounds like a dream come true, especially when you're staring at those sleek bass boats with their shiny gel coats and impressive horsepower ratings. Budget bass boats like the entry-level Nitro models and Tracker aluminium boats dominate the market for one simple reason: they promise maximum fishing capability at minimum cost. These boats are specifically designed for beginners or budget-conscious anglers, offering essential fishing features while keeping prices low. The marketing is brilliant, targeting weekend warriors who want to experience the thrill of bass fishing without breaking the bank. However, when experienced boaters rank boat manufacturers from premium to budget, there's a clear hierarchy that reveals the shocking truth about quality levels. Industry professionals rank manufacturers in distinct tiers. Premium brands like Vexus, Basscat, and Ranger occupy the top tier, while budget brands like Nitro, Tracker, and other entry-level manufacturers fall into the bottom tier. This ranking system exists because the differences in quality, construction, and reliability are significant and measurable. The problem starts with how these boats are marketed versus how they're actually built. Manufacturers know that first-time boat buyers focus on obvious features: horsepower capacity, storage compartments, and that all-important price tag. What they don't advertise is the difference in hull thickness, the quality of electrical components, or the long-term reliability of budget manufacturing processes. The monthly payment might look manageable, but what happens when you factor in the hidden costs that start appearing within the first year? Before we dive deeper into the shocking reality of budget boat ownership, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell. You do not want to miss what's coming next in this video. When it comes to budget fishing boats, the two main contenders are cheap bass boats and cheap John boats. Each promises to get you on the water affordably, but the reality of owning either of these at the budget end might shock you. Budget bass boats, particularly from manufacturers like Nitro, have developed a reputation for serious quality issues that can leave owners stranded and financially devastated. The promise of fiberglass performance at an affordable price comes with a dark side that dealers rarely discuss. Take the case of a 23-year-old angler who invested in a 2012 Nitro Z6, only to discover catastrophic hull failure that left his boat completely totaled. The hull had shattered from the inside, and when he brought it to the certified repair specialists, they found no impact damage, meaning this was a manufacturing defect. The shocking part: Tracker Marine, Nitro's parent company, immediately declined the warranty claim, leaving the owner with an $8,000 repair bill on a boat that should have been replaced. This isn't an isolated incident. Nitro owners consistently report recurring issues, including electrical system failures, hull cracks, battery problems, and structural defects that occur within the first few years of ownership. One owner described his 2019 Nitro Z21 Elite as the biggest piece of garbage, requiring 7 trips to the service department for repeated electrical issues. The company's customer service response to these issues is equally shocking, with owners reporting responses like "we will do nothing," even when independent surveyors confirm manufacturing defects. John boats seem like the safer budget option, simple, utilitarian, and hard to mess up, but even these basic boats come with significant limitations that can put you in danger. John boats have limited tolerance for rougher water due to their flat hull design, making them less ideal for wide open water or large windy lakes. This limitation isn't just about comfort, it's about safety. When weather conditions change unexpectedly, a John boat's inability to handle chop can leave you stranded or worse. The cramped conditions of smaller John boats create serious capacity issues that many anglers underestimate. A 14-foot John boat simply cannot safely accommodate 4 adults, despite what manufacturers might suggest. Overloading these boats is a common mistake that leads to accidents, with many anglers finding themselves soaked and surprised after leaning too far and pitching their John boat over. The fundamental difference between budget and quality boats comes down to construction methods. Riveted John boats are significantly more prone to leaks compared to welded boats, especially in saltwater environments. While a good riveted boat might outlast a poorly welded one, the reality is that budget manufacturers often cut corners on both materials and construction techniques. Industry insiders specifically warn that budget aluminium boats often suffer from galvanic corrosion, where the aluminium hull contacts the trailer, creating expensive repair issues that aren't covered by warranties. What I'm about to reveal next will shock you even more. The worst offenders in the budget boat market have earned reputations that should make any smart angler run in the opposite direction. Hit that like button if you're already surprised by what you've learned. Not all budget boat manufacturers are created equal, and some have earned reputations that should serve as warning signs for potential buyers. Nitro boats have developed such a problematic reputation that experienced boaters actively warn others to avoid them. The issues go far beyond minor inconveniences. We're talking about fundamental design and manufacturing flaws that can leave you stranded, broke, or worse. Common nitro problems include hull cracks near the windshield, lower lockers that leak during rain, non-functioning speedometers, and electrical panels that randomly stop working. These aren't wear and tear issues that develop over time. These are problems that occur on boats that are practically brand new. Industry professionals specifically state that nitro fiberglass is terribly weak and thin, a direct result of cost-cutting in materials and construction. The pattern of warranty claim denials forces owners to either pay for expensive repairs out of pocket or file insurance claims for what should be warranty issues. When owners report serious defects, they're often met with corporate responses that show no willingness to stand behind their products. This systematic approach to avoiding warranty responsibility suggests that high failure rates are built into the business model. Old Chrysler boats present a different but equally problematic scenario for modern owners. While Chrysler Marine engines had a historical reputation for reliability, they were known as entry-level motors that were cheap to make and buy. The fundamental problem with Chrysler outboards today is parts availability. These engines have become like dinosaurs because you simply cannot get parts anymore. Chrysler Marine was dissolved as part of Chrysler's government bailout in the 1980s, and the outboard division was eventually sold and became Force Outboards, which were also discontinued. Owners of vintage Chrysler outboards discover that while the engines might still run, any major repair or maintenance becomes a treasure hunt for obsolete components. What seems like a bargain purchase of a classic boat quickly becomes a money pit when you need to source rare components or fabricate replacements. The engines were built to be simple and reliable, but without part support, even minor failures can render the boat unusable. Tracker boats, while popular in the budget segment, face specific issues related to their aluminium construction and manufacturing quality. The most serious problem is galvanic corrosion, particularly where the aluminium hull contacts the trailer. This electrochemical reaction is so common that experienced mechanics specifically warn buyers to check under trailer bunks for corrosion damage. The construction quality of budget aluminium boats varies widely, and while welded boats are generally superior to riveted ones, budget manufacturers often cut corners on welding quality, materials, or both. When industry professionals rank bass boat manufacturers, the hierarchy reveals stark differences in quality expectations. One experienced boater's advice about nitro boats is particularly telling. Avoid them at all costs due to weak and thin fiberglass construction. This isn't casual criticism, it's a warning based on real-world experience with hull failures and construction quality issues that can leave owners with boats that are literally falling apart. The reputation problems of these budget manufacturers directly impact not just reliability, but also resale values. Potential buyers understand the reliability issues and factor them into their purchase decisions, making budget boats harder to sell and less valuable in the used market. This creates a financial trap for owners who discover that their boat's value has dropped below the cost of needed repairs, leaving them stuck with problematic boats they can't afford to fix or sell. The pattern across these worst offenders is consistent. They compete primarily on price, which inevitably means cutting corners on materials, construction quality, and customer support. Understanding these manufacturer-specific issues helps explain why some boats become constant money pits, while others provide years of reliable service. The true cost of budget fishing boats isn't measured in dollars alone, it's measured in lives. The safety risks associated with cheaply made boats go far beyond inconvenience and extend into life-threatening territory. When hull integrity fails, the results can be catastrophic. The Nitro owner whose hull completely shattered discovered the damage during a routine inspection. But imagine if that failure had occurred at high speed or in rough water. Hull failures don't just mean expensive repairs, they can mean the difference between life and death. According to Coast Guard statistics, over half of fishing vessel fatalities are due to vessels sinking or capsizing, with about 84% of fishing industry fatalities due to drowning, often resulting from vessel casualties. Budget boats compound these risks through inferior construction methods. Thin fiberglass, poor welding, and substandard materials all contribute to structural weaknesses that can fail under stress. The flat-bottom design of John boats makes them particularly vulnerable in rough conditions, limiting their use to calm waters. This limitation becomes deadly when weather conditions change unexpectedly, as working in rough waters leads to hypothermia, fatigue, and falls overboard, conditions that can quickly become fatal. The electrical problems plaguing budget boats aren't just inconveniences, they're safety hazards. When navigation lights fail, bilge pumps stop working, or engine electrical systems malfunction, boats become dangerous to operate. Coast Guard data shows that electrical troubles often contribute to serious accidents, and boats that lose power become virtually invisible at night. Without working lights, a disabled boat becomes a collision hazard for other vessels. Mechanical reliability issues create additional safety risks, as running out of fuel or experiencing mechanical failure can turn a pleasant fishing trip into a life-threatening emergency, especially in remote areas or rough conditions. Budget boats often experience higher rates of mechanical problems due to inferior components and manufacturing quality. The parts availability issues with older engines like Chrysler outboards create specific safety risks. When owners attempt jerry-rigged repairs or continue operating equipment that should be replaced. For bass boat anglers, especially those fishing in southern waters, wildlife encounters add another layer of risk that budget boats are poorly equipped to handle. Alligators present a real danger to anglers, particularly during spawning season when they become territorial and aggressive. Budget boats with low freeboard and poor stability make alligator encounters more dangerous, as a quality boat with higher sides and better stability gives anglers more options for avoiding or dealing with aggressive wildlife. Overloading is a common problem with budget boats, particularly John boats where manufacturers may overstate capacity ratings. The stability problems of budget boats are exacerbated by poor weight distribution and inferior hull designs. When these boats become unstable, they can capsize quickly, giving occupants little time to react or deploy safety equipment. In cold water conditions, hypothermia can set in within minutes, and without proper safety equipment or a reliable boat, survival chances drop dramatically. Budget boats often lack proper safety equipment or have safety systems that don't work reliably. When these boats fail in cold conditions, the combination of equipment failure and harsh environment creates a deadly scenario. The water temperature surrounding the Titanic was 28 degrees, giving swimmers only 15 to 30 minutes before their hearts stopped, demonstrating how quickly cold water immersion becomes life-threatening. These safety issues represent the most serious consequences of choosing budget boats, but the financial drain of constant repairs and maintenance often becomes apparent long before any life-threatening situations occur. The real cost of a budget fishing boat doesn't end at the dealership, it starts there. What seems like a smart buy quickly turns into a financial nightmare. While the average annual cost of boat ownership sits around $4,300, budget boats often double or triple that due to poor construction, constant failures, and substandard components. Maintenance typically runs 48% of a boat's value each year, if the boat's built right. Budget models break this rule, racking up massive repair bills. A failed hull on a Nitro, for example, brought an $8,000 repair quote, half the boat's original value. Stress cracks near the transom often snowball into complete failure, forcing owners to choose between a total loss or sinking more money into an already sinking ship. Electrical problems are rampant. 4 bank chargers fail, trim switches stop working, nav systems shut off mid-run. These aren't one-offs, they're systematic issues caused by poor wiring and cheap parts. Engine woes are equally relentless. Owners report fuel pumps, spark plugs, and diaphragms failing far too early, increasing both maintenance frequency and cost. Even standard services, like a 300-hour Mercury 4-stroke check, can top $700, and that's before major issues arise. Parts availability is another hidden landmine. Some budget brands use discontinued or inconsistent components, making even simple fixes a nightmare. Labor costs compound the problem. Owners who can't DIY repairs face steep hourly rates and markups on parts, pushing repairs beyond reach. The result? Deferred maintenance that leads to even bigger failures. Quality boats, by contrast, have predictable maintenance costs, often around $1,000 per year, and hold value better. Budget boats, especially notorious names like Nitro, plummet in resale value, trapping owners in negative equity. By the time many realize enough is enough, their boat is worth less than the repairs it needs. That's the true cost of buying cheap. The core issue with budget fishing boats isn't just frequent breakdowns, it's that they're fundamentally built to fail. The construction shortcuts that make these boats cheaper up front often guarantee premature structural issues, costly repairs, and dangerous performance in the long run. When professionals rate boats across quality tiers, they're primarily assessing the construction methods. Premium boats use advanced techniques like pultrusion, where fiberglass is tensioned, resin infused, and heat molded to create incredibly strong, stress-resistant parts, especially in critical areas like transoms. Budget boats skip these steps entirely, opting for thin, hand-laid fiberglass and weak mounting reinforcements. The result? Stress cracks, soft transoms, and in some cases, hull failure after only a few seasons. Design plays a major role too. Quality boats undergo rigorous computer modeling and stress testing, ensuring balanced handling, durable hulls, and proper weight distribution. Budget boats often use outdated or simplified molds that prioritize mass production over performance. This leads to handling issues, excessive planing time, and poor engine efficiency, especially when under load. Materials matter just as much. While premium boats use marine-grade wiring, hardware, and composites designed for constant vibration, salt, and UV exposure, budget models rely on automotive or household-grade parts that corrode, crack, or fail quickly in marine environments. Worse still, systematic quality control issues mean many budget boats are delivered with defects already baked in. Problems that reputable manufacturers would catch and correct before shipping. Warranty support is often the final red flag. Budget brands are notorious for denying legitimate claims or offering minimal assistance because they've built expected failure rates into their pricing. This erodes customer trust and tanks resale values. Buyers recognize these patterns, leading to faster depreciation, higher financial risk, and poor long-term satisfaction. In the end, the cheap boat often becomes the most expensive mistake an angler can make. Budget fishing boats often turn fishing trips into frustrating experiences. They sacrifice key features like usable storage, stable performance, and electronics integration to cut costs. Small compartments and poorly designed layouts make storing gear a headache. Flat-bottom John boats, common in budget builds, are barely usable outside calm conditions, meaning lost fishing days when weather shifts. Modern fishing depends on electronics, but budget boats make adding or upgrading nearly impossible. They lack proper wiring, mounting points, and power systems, basic necessities for today's anglers. The real shock: budget boats are a false economy. Between constant repairs, poor resale value, limited functionality, and safety concerns, they often end up costing more than quality boats in the long run. You save up front, but pay heavily over time. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden costs of cheap boats, hit that subscribe button for more hard truths the industry won't tell you. Share this with someone thinking of buying a budget boat. It could save them thousands.